All right, so at the center of the Kohberger case is a tactic that law enforcement is using called IGG, and that stands for Investigative Genetic Genealogy. And what it is it is a field of forensic science where they combine DNA with traditional genealogical research. All right, so in a practical matter or in a crime, how would they do this? So what they do is at the scene of a crime, somebody leaves DNA, okay? They go get that DNA and then they take that sample and they upload the sample to a genetic genealogy database, all right? And what they do is, maybe not every time, but Ancestry.com, a site like that. Then the IGG practitioner, he uses the statistical analysis to find likely relatives of the DNA source, right? So when you go to Ancestry.com and you give your DNA and you're trying to find your family tree, law enforcement is using this to solve crimes and identify victims of crimes. Traditional genealogy research is used to build a family tree for the DNA source. So that's how they are connecting dots. And what they do from there is the identified relatives from Ancestry.com are compared to the DNA source to confirm or refute them as a suspect or as a victim, okay? So in this case, what they did was they found this sample of DNA off the button of the knife sheath, all right? And they put it in a database, okay? And they found Kohberger's family tree. And from there, they went to his home in Pennsylvania and they took trash off the curb. And one of the DNA samples that they took from the trash was not excluded or could not be excluded to be Kohberger's father. And they then had a suspect, right? Then they started to connect different dots. Eventually, they got Kohberger and they did a swab in his cheek. And that DNA from the swab in his cheek was confirmed to be the DNA that was on the knife sheath. So that is how they tied that all together. That's how IGG works in a crime, and that's how investigators and law enforcement are using it. From what I've read now, the defense is going to push forward with the theory that that knife sheath was planted by the real killer. And again, that's a trial issue. We've talked about trial issues and tactics and their strategy. But I thought that I would give you guys a little crash course on IGG because it is interesting and it's ever evolving, and there's a lot of litigation around it. That's why there were so many motions to suppress filed where the defense believes that the tactics that law enforcement used were unconstitutional. But the judge has ruled that they were not, and that evidence appears to be coming in. All right.